So moving on from the Pro Max, another line that you do, the Pro Feeder, again, I keep saying it, but it's popular, right?
Yeah,
Very popular.
it's a very, very different line to Pro Max. You see the colours are dark colour. I've always liked dark. I think it goes back to years ago when I used to use Maxima or myself. Dark coloured lines for me, they just seem to last longer, right?
Yeah.
Are more durable. You know, I've tried lots of white lines, clear lines, but for me, dark lines are where it's at. So that's why we've got a dark line. With this particular one, when we go from 0.16 right the way up to 0.30, in the lowest range, it's very good as a sinking line for float fishing, and or straight lead, little light feeders, stuff like that. But the most popular strains in this, because it's essentially a feeder line, are sort of £6 upwards. You know, which again, you know, you're only talking like diameters of 0.20, 0.22, that sort of thing. But it goes all the way up to, all the way up to 40.
Yeah, that's the thing I like about it, because there's a lot of that sort of fishing done now.
Yeah.
These big barbel and that on the Trent, when they start talking about barbel that are going double figures, you need that, don't you?
Definitely.
You need that security.
There was a time where the heaviest line I used to carry in my box was £6 Maxima, which is actually 0.26, right? Which is the same as my £10 thickness, if you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you are right. I mean, I fish a lot on the Y in the winter, and we're using 5 ounce, 6 ounce, 7 ounce leads.
Oh,
But the nice thing about that, you see, it's all in balance. We've got the rod. We never had the rods to do it properly before. We had to use carp rods or whatever. Now you've got bespoke feeder rods for it that will handle that sort of line, and more importantly, handle that sort of lead.
Yeah.
So if you're casting 5 or 6 ounce out, you've got to have a strong line.
Yeah.
So I mean, I still can't believe, if you'd have said to me 10, 20 years ago, you're going to be using £14 line, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah. That's your carp anglers, isn't it?
But for my winter lines on that river, £14 and £12, 0.30, 0.28. It's important to think about diameters and not just strains. Compare it to others. I mean, 0.30 in another brand might just be £10. This is very strong line for the diameter.
And it doesn't spin up.
No.
And you don't get them spins in it, do you? Either.
And it's got, again, the stretch factor's right. It's not overly stretchy. I've looked at some supposed low stretch lines recently, and mine are about the same, to be truthful. But it's got just the right amount of stretch. So if you are casting, you need some absorption. If you're casting 5 ounce a fair weight, the line and the rod are have got to give with it. Otherwise, you're going to crack off some.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
And then obviously you're balancing that to a strong hook length, and you're looking at big fish. Like you said, there's things on the Trent now, they're monsters.
They are. Yeah.
So that's what we do.
And they're catching them on match tackle as well. So, there's no reason not to have the line that is strong and durable like this. Yeah,
Exactly.
great line. I love it. Yeah, brilliant.